Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Last we left off at the 8-year cycle and the star of Ishtar and the goddess Ishtar and their connection to Venus. Now let's get into the other things that I have found out about Venus. Yes, there is so much more. So just like Venus and Aphrodite, there is Ishtar, Inanna, and Ninciana. So here it says Ninciana, Sumerian for Red Queen of Heaven, is Mesopotamian deity who personifies the planet Venus. Because Venus is an astral body, Ninciana is closely tied to Inanna. Remember, Inanna, Ishtar, same, and Ninciana is the same, the primary Mesopotamian goddess of love, war, and morning/evening star. Also, Ninciana is gender fluid. Again, think back to the prince symbol, love symbol. Now let's get into Inanna, known as Ishtar, is the ancient Mesopotamian goddess of love, war, sensuality, and political power. As one of the most prominent deities in the Sumerian pantheon, she was often titled the Queen of Heaven and embodied paradoxal traits ranging from fertility and passion to ruthless aggression. So again it says the domains are love, sexual desire, fertility, warfare, the life-death cycle. The symbols, the 8-pointed star represented the planet Venus in the lion. Now, Inanna has several myths and storylines, but one that I thought was quite interesting was distilling the May. That M-E is pronounced May. So this is the backstory of Stilling the May. And I thought it was interesting that it's called the Mythic Heist. On the Run 3, maybe? So Inanna, patron goddess of the city of Uruk, felt she was giving too few powers. She traveled to Eridu. Now let's pause here for a second. I googled it, and yes, the Eridanus constellation. And Eridu is closely related, as I covered before. It says the Eridanus constellation is named after Eridu, an ancient Sumerian city. According to historical theories, the Babylonian star of Eridu was later adopted into Greek and Roman mythology as the celestial river Eridanus, which brings me to this picture. And back to here, if you can see, she's also on water. Water in the sky, but she's a constellation. That sounds like Eridanus to me. Now, the setup, like I said, the city of the water god Enki, to seek more influence. And Eridu Enki hosted Inanna and they shared a feast. The hospitable god happily gave her gifts and plied himself with beer. Once Enki was heavily intoxicated, Inanna seized the May, the great escape. She loaded the powers onto the boat of heaven and hurriedly sailed away toward Uruk. When Enki sobered up, he realizes his powers were gone and dispatched his minister alongside various monstrous creatures to intercept Inanna's boat. With the help of her minister, Mish, Inanna successfully repelled Enki's monsters, arriving safely in Europe. Inanna shared these arts and decrees of civilization with her people, bringing prosperity to her city. Also, Inanna is known as the Queen of Heaven. This is her pictured here. Also found interesting, there's the Ishtar Gate. Gate, portals, door, same thing, you know. And it's the fortified entrance to the inner city of ancient Babylon. It has themes like monumental archways, ceremonial entrances, celestial symbolism, processional movement through a sacred gate. Again, right here it says association with Ishtar and Venus. A threshold or portal design, so just keep that in mind as we go forward. Dedicated to Ishtar, the Mesopotamian goddess of love and war. Now let's segue into the matrix. All 8 cycles of the matrix explained. Remember, there are 8 iterations of the matrix. I also found another connection with The Matrix and Venus. The Matrix was created by two filmmakers, Lana and Lily Wachowski. Now later Lana and her wife would create a film and television production called Venus Christina LLC. The name, of course, comes from Venus, the Roman goddess, as we've been discussing before, and also the idea of femininity trapped in a male body. Now, how did we get here from the goddess Ishtar? Well, both sisters have confirmed that the Matrix is a deeply layered trans allegory. Concepts such as feeling trapped in an artificial reality, experiencing metamorphosis, and the iconic red pill, blue pill dynamic heavily mirror the transgender experience. I think Beyoncé knows this, and just like her idol Prince, I think she'll draw inspiration from that narrative and develop it in the visuals, as we can already see through some of the themes she has been displaying already. And interesting enough, in The Matrix Resurrections, there is a character named Echo. Echoville. There's connections there. The concept of Venus and portals typically connects to astrology, metaphysics, or gaming lore. It generally refers to energetic alignments and cosmic apertures, such as Venus retrograde or Cazimi, believed to open pathways for spiritual transformation. And it also mentions the sacred geometry of Venus, an 8-year cycle. This brings me back to my red pill versus blue pill, the January versus not May 29th, and seeing where Beyoncé might take the visuals in this. Will she release Act 3 May 29th, or will she release Act 3 January 29th? Either one she releases it on, I feel like the visuals will tie into whichever one she doesn't release on. So if she releases Act 3 January 29th, I feel May 29th will be a theme in the visuals. If she releases May 29th, I feel like January 29th will be a theme in the visuals to differentiate between a moment where she had to pick between the red and the blue pill. This is just speculation, Joel. She could easily place the red and blue pill in any other way. I just found that interesting that right now we don't know if it's May 29th, January 29th, or even if it comes out this year, or some random date. Who knows? This is Beyoncé's world. We're just living in it. Also, to show you even more that Venus is a huge inspiration. In the description of Renaissance Tour, it says Beyoncé is revealed inside a clown shell reminiscent of Botticelli's The Birth of Venus. I actually saw this after my breakdown, so it let me know that I was on the right track. And in the opening act, it talks about the pink clouds are shown screen as an image glitching signboard rises, forming a picture of Beyoncé in a pose similar to the sleeping Venus. Here is the picture of the sleeping Venus, and here is the picture of the opening act they were referencing. On my next episode, I'll talk about how all of this is connected to Echoville and how Ishtar and Venus are central to the plot. Thank you for watching. I'm just a Beyoncé nerd, and I hope you enjoyed the video.